Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Wow Me Wednesday. So I'm still riding high from the conference I went to last week in San Diego. It was Amy Porterfield's Entrepreneur Experience. And for those of you who haven't heard of Amy Porterfield, she is an online marketing expert who basically teaches entrepreneurs like me how to market ourselves and provide our services online. Like one example I'm doing for you now. So it was an awesome experience, so many great entrepreneurs from around the world. And I want to share with you some things I learned from each of the speakers. So there's Amy Porterfield, but then she also had superstars like Rachel Hollis, the author of Girl Wash Your Face, a New York Times bestseller for many, many weeks. Stu McLaren, Jasmine Star. So I'll give you tips and observations I got from each of them as speakers, not necessarily as them as their area of expertise. So for Amy Porterfield, what I observed from her that I loved was her personality. So I've been following her podcast for the past couple of years, and what is tough to tell from any kind of podcast where you're just hearing someone's voice is how big someone's personality can be. And since so much of communication is conveyed through the non-verbal cues like body language, majority of communication is perceived that way. It was so awesome to see her live on stage because she was witty and she was also warm at the same time. So it was great to see her in action. She had many outfits, amazing outfits. She looked awesome. And there was one time I remember where she asked us many times to raise our hands for certain questions, just like I suggest you do too. Ask questions of your audience for them to raise your hand. Hi, Evelyn. Thank you for tuning in. And there was one time where she said, okay, raise your hand if you blah, 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 blah. And she raised her hand and she admitted, oh, my jacket's too tight. This is only as high as I can raise my hand. But she said, hey, but doesn't it look cute? So she was showing off her jacket, and with an audience of mostly females, we all loved it, right? So she played with it. It was almost a little bit of self-deprecation, but then she played off of it. Hey Fred, thanks for tuning in. And so that was a lot of fun. She interviewed people on stage and she bantered back and forth with them really, really well, which I appreciated. One interesting part when it comes to audience interaction, she invited us participants, audience members, to line up and ask questions or make comments on the microphone, which is great because people could share how much they've learned and just pour their hearts out. But people tended to ramble on and on and on. Have you been in those kinds of situations? Even though she said, I only have time for 3 people, or just ask me one question. She allowed them, and it's hard to cut people off, right? Especially when they're pouring their hearts out. So that's something to keep in mind too. When you do have audience participation, you might want to preface up front, hey, we only have time for 5 people, and I don't mean to be rude, but I might need to cut you off so that we stay on time and stay on track. And so that's easier said than done, but it is important for you to just jump in there as the moderator, as the person heading up the presentation. Jasmine Star, who talks about Instagram marketing, she also had people come up and she was quick to tell people up front, just ask me your question. Don't necessarily tell me all about your business and your whole life. Just ask me a question so we can go bam, 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 which I definitely appreciated. So a couple different things. Show your personality, which Amy did amazingly. And if you're getting suggestions or feedback from the audience, be the moderator to keep things on track because people want to stay on task and on time. Hi Adolfo, thank you for watching. So in the coming weeks, I'm also going to give some feedback about Jasmine Star, Stu McLaren, and Rachel Hollis, who were all speakers at the Amy Porterfield conference. And something else that I learned while I was there is offering something special for you all, which I'm giving it a shot. So I am offering an intimate workshop for a few people to be able to work with me on camera presenting. If you need to do an intro presentation for your business, if you want to be more adept at speaking on Facebook Live like this, work with me in a small group setting, so it's not intimidating, you know? So elevator pitches on camera and placing it on your website, on social media, can take you far, because obviously it can show your personality and also help with your branding and making a great lasting impression to your ideal audience. So message me, DM me if you're interested in learning more about that and joining my group. Thanks so much, everyone. If you want more information about me and my services, you can always visit jessicachangconsulting.com. Thanks, everyone. See you next time.